I've asked many times before you liberals to call up and tell us exactly when does this end. How do we know when we've reached nirvana? How do we know? What's the tax rate? What's the size of the government? What percentage of the GDP are you taking? What's the Constitution look like? Where's the roadmap? We have no idea. Just follow them. Because they're so brilliant. Barack Obama, 5 years ago, nobody knew him. He was a nobody. Now he's president, and he knows everything. And yet he knows nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you know what? He doesn't even learn on the job. He's incapable of learning on the job. He's a radical ideologue. He's stubborn and incompetent. That's a bad mixture, folks. Nobody questions his qualification. No, he's historic. He's in a historic blunder. So, you liberals out there, how exactly do you intend to rearrange our society? What institutions stay? What institutions go? What kind of new institutions are you going to create? Oh, the mind is limitless, isn't it? Got all kinds of ideas. That living and breathing Constitution, well, we all know that's what the framers intended. That's right. They intended to allow temporary politicians to use political expediency to rule over us. There it is. That's what the Constitution means. How do I know? Well, ask the four knuckleheads on the Supreme Court. They'll tell you. They can go to foreign law, living and breathing. 10th Amendment means nothing. That's it, baby. Whatever works. All they have to do is seize the instrumentalities of government. Here's the problem, among many, with the system. A system that's broken away from its Constitution. We elect a president, a conservative. We elect a conservative Congress. And we begin the process, God willing, of reversing course, right? We believe in our founding document, the Declaration. We revere it. We believe in our Constitution. We revere it. And we believe the only legitimate government is government that complies with the Constitution. That is limited in so many ways, so as to respect the individual. And then the other side wins. The next election cycle. And what do? They make permanent changes because they do not feel bound by the Constitution and its limits, and they can't because their ideology prevents it. You cannot transform a society based on a rule of law we call the Constitution and abide by the Constitution. You cannot do both things at once. Period. And so they make these permanent changes that will affect one generation to the next. And when we win elections, we play by the rules. We try to abide by the Constitution. At least I hope they do. And in many ways, it just feels like us playing by the rules, them not playing by the rules. Who wins in the end? Don't they? I don't know. I'm very troubled about all this. I don't know how this is going to end. I don't know. I just know that the liberals are dragging us into territory that they can't even define, that they can't even explain. And they're petty. Let's go to Brett in Austin, Texas, a Democrat. What share of responsibility do Republicans have? Is that it?
I don't know.
Sir, can you at least show us you're intelligent enough to turn the radio off when you're calling me on the program?
How can I help you, Mark?
You don't have to help me at all, pal. Do you know how to turn your radio off?
You know, actually, they didn't tell me how much time was going on.
Okay, so. But when I come on and announce your name and tell you what city it's in, for most people it's Pavlovian. They just know to do it. How may I help you, Mr. Democrat?
Oh, well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate your snarky little
Just get to it, pal, because you're already annoying me. I said just get to it. You're already annoying me.
How much responsibility does the Republican Party share for the debt level of the U.S.? I'm just curious, because I don't ever
I would say they probably have a responsibility of about 30%.
Only about 30%? Only about 30% of the...
Yeah, only about 30%, because your guy just made debt bigger than all the rest of them combined. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
And you like that, don't you, Brett? You like his agenda, right?
The preceding events have caused...
Can you answer? All right, let me just ask. Let's just ask some fundamental questions. You like what your president's doing?
I'm okay with it, yeah.
Well, then why don't you accept responsibility for the massive debt? Okay. $5 trillion and two. I don't get you guys. On the one hand, you praise what he's done. On the other hand, you claim the Republicans did it. Now, which is it, pal? Who ran up the debt?
Here's the difference. I have the viewpoint that there is shared responsibility, but what I hear you guys...
Wait a minute, whoa. Shared responsibility.
There is shared responsibility.
Let me tell you something, pal. When I worked in the Reagan administration, I worked there 8 years, and you know what's funny? Every year he proposed a budget. They said it was dead on arrival. And Tip O'Neill and George, whoever the majority leader was at the time in the Senate, different ones, George Mitchell, whomever, they kept driving up the price of the budget, driving it up. I remember the State of the Union where Ronald Reagan took that omnibus budget bill. Remember that, pal? Put it on the podium and dropped it and said, I'm not signing these bills anymore. It's time to do your job. 13 separate bills. We need to balance the budget. I'd like to have a balanced budget amendment. I'd like to do this. Stopped them. I remember when Ronald Reagan wanted to eliminate the Department of Education. They stopped him. I remember when he wanted to eliminate the Department of Energy. They stopped it. And yet, the deficits under Reagan, which are minuscule compared to your hero, all I hear is Reagan ran deficits, Reagan ran deficits. Well, if you liberal Democrats are against deficits, where are you today? Where is the pal? Where are the budget cuts being proposed today by the Democrats? Where are they?
Pal.
Get out of here, you moron. What kind of jackass you got to deal with? Been dealing with jackasses like that my whole life. Ignorant and yet condescending.